What is SEI? What it is, and a quick overview. So when it comes to crypto, most blockchains try to be everything for everyone, but SEI has taken quite a different approach. It is not chasing every use case under the sun. Instead, SEI is zeroing in on one of the most demanding and important functions in the industry, trading. From decentralized exchanges to perpetual futures to NFT mints, SEI is built to handle the kinds of high-volume, high-frequency transactions that, simply put, cause other blockchains to buckle under the pressure. With sub-second finality, parallel execution, and an engine that's designed for throughput rather than hype, SEI is positioning itself as the go-to chain for speed, precision, and reliability. And we can't forget that if the next altcoin season turns into a throughput war, which it almost certainly will, SEI is one of the very few networks that's actually positioned to keep the pace. Welcome back to another episode of JRNY TV. My name is Nick, and this is where we make the complex world of digital finance not so complex for everyone and anyone, regardless of their experience. In today's video, we are going to be diving face first into SEI. What it is, how it works, why it is different, and where it could in fact be heading as crypto gears up for what may be one of the most explosive bull runs yet. If liquidity rotates aggressively into high-performance layer ones this cycle, SEI is a project that you will want on your radar. Here's the big picture. SEI is a Cosmos-based layer 1, but it recently took things to the next level with SEI v2, a fully parallelized EVM. This upgrade means Ethereum-based tools and contracts they can run on SEI at scale, but without the bottlenecks that typically slow down the other chains. Under the hood, two innovations stand out. Twin Turbo Consensus, which pushes block finality down to an incredible 390 to 400 milliseconds, and SEI-DB, a lean storage system that shrinks state size and allows validators to sync faster. In practice, this means SEI can parallelize execution, compress blockchain bloat, and push transactions through in milliseconds. But the result is a chain where perps, AMPs, order books, and NFT mints, they don't choke when traffic spikes, and the traction is already showing. SEI's active addresses and on-chain activity, they have been climbing steadily, even as other layer ones flatten out. And that kind of usage, it tells us one thing. The builders and users are testing SEI's Parallel EVM, and they're sticking around. What the SEI token is and how it's used. At the heart of the SEI ecosystem is the one and only SEI token. Every single transaction on the network, whether it be transferring tokens, executing a smart contract, or running a high-frequency trading strategy, flows through SEI. And this means gas fees are always paid in the native token, and as activity ramps up, so does the demand for SEI. But what sets SEI apart from many other layer ones is its laser focus on trading and market making. In trading-centric ecosystems, users often generate far more transactions than in gaming or NFT-driven chains, which creates a stronger and more consistent stream of demand for the token. Security also relies heavily on SEI. The network runs on delegated proof of stake, where validators stake SEI to secure the chain, and delegators can back those validators by staking those tokens as well. In return, the rewards are paid in SEI, giving long-term holders a yield while ensuring that validators are in fact incentivized to perform reliably. Bad behavior though, such as downtime or double signing, is punished with slashing, meaning validators have skin in the game. For regular users, this creates two clear options: run your own validator or simply delegate your tokens to trusted operators and earn passive rewards. The more tokens that are staked, the stronger the security guarantees. And that makes SEI a lot more resilient as adoption continues to grow. But SEI is not just about those gas fees and staking rewards. It's also the governance backbone of the network. Token holders who stake gain voting power over key protocol decisions, from upgrading modules to adjusting block parameters, managing treasury allocations, or approving new integrations. And this gives the community direct influence over SEI's direction and ensures decision-making, it stays decentralized. And with SEI's V2's parallelized EVM opening the door for more apps and liquidity, the developers, they're also beginning to integrate SEI into DeFi protocols as collateral, liquidity incentives, and even in stablecoin systems. And that type of evolution, moving beyond just gas and staking into being a multiverse asset, it gives SEI staying power as adoption spreads and trading volumes grow. What are the goals of SEI? SEI's mission is straightforward, but it's definitely ambitious. Become the fastest and most reliable layer 1 for trading and financial applications. Not too shabby of a title. Ethereum, for all its dominance, often gets bogged down by congestion. And Solana, despite its speed, has faced occasional outages. SEI, though, it was engineered from the ground up to thrive where those networks struggle. High-frequency, high-throughput environments like decentralized exchanges, perpetual futures, and on-chain order books. In other words, SEI isn't trying to be everything. It's trying to be the best at one thing that drives much of crypto's activity: trading. Beyond the raw speed, SEI also wants to improve the developer and user experience. For too long, crypto has been slowed down by clunky transactions, unpredictable gas fees, and the difficulty of building cross-compatible apps. SEI v2 solves much of that by enabling full EVM parallelization, which means, in layman's terms, Ethereum developers can port over their contracts directly without learning a new stack. For users, that translates into cheaper fees, faster confirmations, and much smoother interactions. In a market where ease of use can make or break adoption, SEI is building an environment that feels as seamless as Web 2 while maintaining the decentralization of Web 3. Another major goal is interoperability. Since SEI is built with the Cosmos SDK, it naturally supports IBC, the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol. This allows SEI to connect directly with the broader Cosmos ecosystem while also expanding to Ethereum and EVM chains thanks to SEI v2. The long-term vision is to make SEI a central settlement layer for high-frequency trading across multiple ecosystems. Instead of exiting as an isolated chain, SEI could become the hub that connects liquidity across the fragmented blockchain world. You add in ecosystem growth through grants, liquidity incentives, and developer support, and you can see clearly why SEI's goals, they extend far beyond just speed. It is becoming the backbone of trading in a multi-chain future. What is the SEI roadmap? From the very beginning, SEI's roadmap has been ambitious, and 2025 is shaping up to be a pivotal year. The launch of SEI v2 with its fully parallelized EVM wasn't just an upgrade, it was a statement. It allows Ethereum developers to deploy on SEI with little to no friction, but with significantly faster performance. That is a huge upside. And that combination, familiar tooling plus superior speed, it makes SEI one of the few networks that can realistically host the next generation of financial applications, but at scale. Over the next few quarters, SEI's focus will be refining and scaling this EVM compatibility because it is the key to attracting both developers and liquidity. Another major component of the roadmap, though, is SEI DB, the network's new storage system. Traditional blockchains, they slow down as their state grows, making syncing painful and resource heavy. SEI DB, though, it rethinks that architecture altogether, making syncing faster and keeping storage lean, which ensures that SEI stays fast even as usage ramps up. The team has already rolled out significant improvements and has more planned out throughout 2025, with the goal of keeping the chain lightweight and accessible for validators. In a high throughput environment, keeping the base layer efficient is absolutely critical, and SEI is tackling that problem head on. Interoperability, it also takes center stage in this roadmap. With Cosmos SDK and IBC at its foundation, SEI is already well connected within the Cosmos ecosystem. But for now, with its parallelized EVM, SEI is extending those connections to Ethereum and other EVM-based chains. This is going to open the floodgates for liquidity and developers that are outside Cosmos to migrate or expand into SEI. And beyond just technology, the roadmap includes ecosystem expansion through grants, liquidity campaigns, and partnerships through major DeFi protocols. The SEI team knows that infrastructure alone doesn't win the markets. Applications and users do. By balancing the technical breakthroughs with real-world applications and adoption strategies, SEI's roadmap sets it up as one of the most competitive and compelling layer ones in the years ahead. Why SEI is bullish and why SEI could do well in the bull market. The bullish case here for SEI, it starts with the performance advantage. In crypto, speed and finality are everything, especially when the market is heating up. With the sub-second block finality and parallelized execution, SEI, it can process massive amounts of transactions without slowing down. And that is a huge deal in trading-heavy ecosystem, where users expect seamless execution. If altcoin season brings a flood of retail traders and institutional players back into DeFi, SEI is one of the very few blockchains that is actually equipped to handle the scale. And that scalability alone, it could make it one of the stars of the next cycle. But performance alone isn't the only driver. SEI v2's parallelized EVM makes it incredibly easy for Ethereum native developers to bring their apps over. And that's huge because it removes one of the biggest barriers to adoption, developer friction. Dun dun dun. By meeting the devs where they actually are, SEI could quickly attract not just experimental projects, but also serious liquidity protocols that are looking for a faster, cheaper home. More applications mean more users, more transactions, transactions, and ultimately a lot more demand for the SEI token. In crypto, developer activity has always been one of the strongest indicators of long-term success, and SEI is checking that box all around. And then there's the tokenomics. Exchange balances of SEI have been steadily declining as staking participation climbs even higher, effectively reducing liquidity supply. This sets the stage for a potential supply crunch when demand inevitably increases. You combine that with the governance incentives, validator rewards, and the token's growing role in DeFi applications, and you've got yourself multiple layers of natural demand in the pressure cooker. You add in SEI's clear branding as the trading chain, a narrative that's easy to understand and easy to sell, and the bullish setup, it becomes even more clear. In a bull market, strong fundamentals plus a strong narrative is often the winning formula, and SEI, bet, has both. SEI's moment could be coming. SEI isn't just another layer 1 trying to grab everyone's attention. It's carving out a specific high-value role as the trading-first blockchain. With lightning-fast finality, parallelized EVM support, and a roadmap that is designed around scalability and interoperability, SEI has positioned itself as one of the most competitive players in the next bull market. The SEI token is at the center of this story, fueling the gas fees, staking governance, and increasingly DeFi adoption. If the next altcoin season really does unleash the wave of liquidity that traders are expecting, SEI does have the fundamentals and the positioning to in fact capitalize. The question is whether or not investors will spot the opportunity early or easily, or are they going to wait until SEI is already in the spotlight? Timing, as always in crypto, is everything. Now we want to hear from you. Are you already holding SEI, or are you watching from the sidelines? Either way, please drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's get this conversation started. And while you're at it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so you never miss a deep dive here on JRNY TV. And as always, do remember, the future belongs to those who start preparing for it today. Thanks again for watching JRNY TV. My name is Nick, and we will see you in the next one.